actual eco-audit program, the process, the score, and the key findings and recommendations. And of course, the green steps forward. We will be, I'm just going to be emailing a detailed report of what we observe and what we recommend. But this is a snapshot of what we went through. So I'll be handing you over to Pratyush, who will be taking this forward.
Hi, good afternoon everyone. My name is Pratyush Iyer and I just recently graduated from Aryabhata College of
You'll be fine without.
I just
No, you can do it without
I just graduated from Aryabhata College of Commerce and Economics with a Bachelor's of Commerce in Financial Markets. So in the past I've had the opportunity to work with Hargar as a communication coordinator, where I was tasked with spreading awareness about waste segregation and the circular economy across South Mumbai. So now I've had the privilege of being part of the eco-audit team at DSV International School, which will help us understand how to optimize costs, reduce energy wastage, and optimize more for our resources accordingly. So I'll be taking you through some key insights and actionable steps that we can incorporate going forward. So I'll be diving right in. So 97% of scientists agree that the main cause of current global warming is by human activity. Needless to say, we have tech on 24/7, we have ACs on full blast, our servers are overloaded with information. So the fastest growth in commercial buildings energy consumption is to be projected to be the highest by 2040 in India. So this is because of the increased access to natural gas and electricity, which has created a rise in usage of devices which use a high amount of energy. So all of these increased usage of ACs and cars, so it's expected to be increasing by 25% in 2030, which is an alarming rate. So the time is not the future. We have to act on it right now. So yeah, so what now I'm coming, all of us can bring change first from the city of Mumbai. So our beloved city, which is once home to so many natural greenlands, is now facing a lot of climate change issues. There's always global news headlines on heat waves and a lot of high pollution, low air quality. All of this can be attributed to climate change. And Mumbai may lose over 10% of its land cover by 2040, as per an NDTV July 2024 report, due to rising sea levels. This is very alarming. And also just another fact, in January 2025, Mumbai recorded its highest ever temperatures. So it was the highest ever in all of Mumbai's history. So it's the hottest on record, as it says. So this is all because of the urban jungle that Mumbai has become right now, the population density. So the time is not the future, we have to act on it right now. So then we come to there are many ways to solve this, and one of the most simple, effective and practical ways is the eco-audit program. So what is the eco-audit program? Eco-audit essentially means to track where all of the energy is spent, how we are using our resources. Is it maybe we are using excessive electricity, we are having ACs unnecessarily on, we are leaving lights on, we are having a lot of tissue papers used, we are having a lot of water wastage. So all of these are not very hard steps to implement. These are just very small actionable steps that we can implement, and when these are combined together, they will compound into something that we can do to combat climate change. So what was our eco-audit process like? Right? So we started off with observations on lighting, space cooling, office equipment, how many tissue papers were used in the canteen, pantry, the office equipment, restrooms, waste management, everything. We took detailed notes, we had structured data, and we had a collaborative data sheet where we mentioned our insights and what could be changing. We also had an online staff survey, which was through online, which was an online form, and there were a lot of personal interviews from team members as well. We asked the facilities manager also about the daily operations and policies currently in place to understand better what DSB is currently doing. So yeah, we are working very hard to combat climate change. I just wanted to stop here for a brief minute and ask what comes to mind when you talk about climate and climate action. Just any 2 or 3 volunteers, like if you can just share your thoughts on what climate or climate action means, and how we can combat it, anything that comes to mind. Anyone who would like to volunteer?
Essentially, I would say first thing should be looking at conserving our resources. That's the most important part. Whether it is natural resources or it is energy or whatever. But essentially, optimum utilization of resources.
Anyone else?
Nobody's actually doing enough about it now, or we're thinking it'll be something somebody else will worry about later.
Absolutely. So the first step is all of us need to acknowledge it and actually think of it as a real problem that we are facing now and not in the future. And this is a very good step. Now these can be transformed into actionable steps, which we can do with small steps and which we can help to combat climate change. Now I'll be passing it on to Pranita. We'll be talking about all of our observations and what are the key recommendations and insights that we can draw from all of our papers and all of our analysis. Also, just a disclaimer, like we'll just be summarizing all of our findings and analysis today. The detailed analysis, our observations, the staff surveys, interviews, all the numbers, all the data has already been emailed to the DSB administration. So it's completely confidential and it's tailored to DSB for your solutions, and it's done by us at Hargar Haragar. And now I'll be passing it on to Pranita, who will be taking you through what are our key findings and recommendations, what the overall scope for school is. And please do remember, this is not just a grade card and there's no one to blame. It's just a step from where we can improve, and it's just actionable insights so that we can improve from within and empower our students to be the next leaders of climate change and sustainability. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Pranita Karote, and I've also recently graduated from Aryabhata College. And I'll be taking you through your scope for this particular eco-audit. So as you can see, we have divided this eco-audit into several categories for ease of understanding. As you can see, these are the categories: lighting, space cooling, office equipment, pantry, restrooms, waste management, and these are the respective scores. So the subtotal for this equals to 47.12%. But this is not just that, we also did this staff/student survey. So this was an online form, and we analyzed about 99 responses from the online form, and we also did some personal interviews. So that gave us the score of 66.67%. So this is a really good score actually, and this tells us that all the staff members over here and the students as well, they want to go in direction of sustainability. They take this very seriously. We just need to give them more guidance to do so, or we can bring about more awareness. And the steps mentioned, the small changes mentioned in this presentation, we believe that would really help to bring that change about. Also talking about the score, that is 47.12%. This falls under the category of needs improvement according to our scoring analysis. But please do not let this get you down. There is always a scope of improvement. We can always do better, and we are sure that, and we are here to help you do that. So let's go category wise, and we will assess everything properly. And just more dedication and adherence to these recommendations would bring your score to not only good but also commendable. Starting with lighting. So during our survey, we observed that 3 out of 12 rooms were unoccupied. That were unoccupied had their lights and air conditioners left on. So that was our observation. Also, we observed that in spite of having adequate daylight, lights were turned on, and also some rooms had excessive lighting. So to combat this, we recommend to put prominent eco signages near the switches to switch the light off when not in use. This could be a reminder for all the staff members and students also while leaving the room. Also, we can optimally use the roller lights by putting them in right direction to use the natural lighting. We can also use low wattage bulbs and lights in areas where possible. Moving on to space cooling, this mostly covers the air conditioners. So during our survey, we observed that the temperature of all the air conditioners in the office was from 20 to 21 degrees Celsius. And also over here as well, the roller lines were not used optimally. So what we suggest is to preset the temperature of all the air conditioners to 24 degrees Celsius, which is considered to be an ideal temperature, not only to save energy but also give optimal cooling. And also proper use of roller lines to balance the heat inside the classrooms. Next was the office equipments. So after conversation with the facilities manager and staff members, we understood that the default setting of all the printers was not on two-side printing, and also there was no eco signages to turn off the equipments. So we suggest to turn the default setting to two-side printing mode, and we also suggest to put prominent eco signages near the office equipments to use optimally. And another interesting fact over here that I would like to share is about vampire energy. If you don't already know, vampire energy is when we have our devices plugged in and the switch is on but our devices are off. The devices still continue to consume some amount of energy, even though it's less, but it's still considerable. So if we could educate the staff and students as well more about this, then we could save substantial amounts of energy by just this one small simple step by turning the switch off when not in use. Moving on to pantry, kitchen, cafeteria. This scored 4.75 out of 7, which is the highest score in category by the way. There are still some few changes that could be done to make the score even better. So the first observation that we saw was separate bins were provided in the cafeteria for wet and dry waste. However, the labels were not prominent enough for the students to make out where to put the waste. That's why the waste was getting mixed up. Another thing was we observed students leaving the taps on while washing their hands, washing dishes. So that also led to a lot of water wastage. So what we can do is we can put eco signages, that is to save water near the sink so that they will use less water. And another thing is we can implement the 3-bin system, wherein we have not only dry and wet waste, but also in addition to that, we have the non-recyclable waste. So non-recyclable waste basically is the dry waste which is soiled, so it cannot be recycled now. So that waste can be put into this non-recyclable waste bin. And we could also put signages above the bins explaining the components of each of the type of the dry waste for the students to for their ease of understanding and to segregate the waste effectively. Next is restrooms. So as you all must be knowing, M4 tissues are used in the entire building in restrooms. And as per a general survey, it has been observed that 5 out of 8 people that use tissues to dry their hands tend to use more than 3 tissue papers, which leads to a very huge number if we consider the number of people using tissues every day in this building. So to reduce the wastage from this issue, we can switch to hand dryers, which are not only energy effective but also cost effective in long run. And we could also, in addition to this, we could foster the habit of bringing your own napkin in students and also staff. Secondly, again, placing eco signages to remind staff to conserve water even inside the restrooms. And next is very important, I think, that is retrofitting all the taps with aerators. This helps to save a large percentage of water. And next, we can also consider using grey water for sanitary flushes and other uses. And these are some other water conserving fixtures that you can have a of this. A detailed report is will be given to you, but this is just for looking. Okay. Next is waste management. So the recycle bins provided here on the ground floor and near the pool, we observed that they had materials in addition to the recyclable items. And again, there were no visible signs to encourage saving paper and saving water. And also, after a conversation with the facilities manager, we got to know that LED lamps were disposed of with other waste. So we recommend proper disposal of e-waste, and we also recommend again the 3-bin system and labeling the bins so that it's very clearly visible to all the students and staff, and they will segregate the waste properly. And yeah. So next is documented sustainability procedures. Here we are again emphasizing on the fact that we need to put eco-signages, we need to remind people to save water, to save paper, and to save energy. And another thing that we would like to recommend is to create a sustainability work practices document, and we could involve all the students and teachers in this, and we could inculcate habits of sustainability, and this will really help. And these are some areas that we recommend to put eco-signages on. So as you can see over here there's an empty space, so we can put a sign for proper segregation over here. Near the sinks we can put signages to save water, and in classrooms like this near the switchboards we can remind them to switch off the lights and save electricity. And that's all for the walkthrough. Now Aditya will give you insights of the staff survey. Thank you.
Good afternoon everyone. I am Aditya Singh and I recently completed my Bachelor's of Commerce in Actuarial Studies from Aryabhata College, and today I am here representing Further Audit, and I had the privilege to be part of the eco-audit team for DSB International School. I will be walking you through one of the most important aspects of the audit, which is staff and student survey report. And we not only got stats but also got some creative ideas from the DSB community itself. So our first question was, how do the respondents print in the school to know how they use paper? Like sir said, how do they utilize their resources? And 43% responded that they print double-sided, which is a good number, but there were also people who print single-sided, and many print depending on the requirement of their users. Our second question was to know how do the participants edit their document, whether on the paper or on digital methods, which indicates how much paper is wasted, and it is a great score that around 80% of the participants edit their papers and documents on computer itself, which uses less paper. We also asked the participants whether they are aware of any energy saving options while printing in the school and whether they use it or not. Around 50% voted that they use the printing options to conserve energy, meanwhile around 54 participants were either not aware or were not using it. We asked this question to know whether the participants are willing to support the digitalization of paperwork to reduce the paper consumption and paper wastage, and many were in support of the digitalization, while many also opted that it should be depending on the requirement of the users. We also asked participants how do they leave their computer while they are not working on it, and many responded that 67% of them usually put it on the sleep mode, which shows that they put it on energy saving mode, and while some also shut down it or put it on screensaver mode, which shows that all the participants are saving energy through computer uses when it is not in use. Also at the end, how do they leave their computer at the end, and many around 60% responded with that they shut down their computers, and 34% leave their computers on sleep mode. We also asked whether they are familiar with energy saving options on their computer, like putting it in grayscale mode or putting it in sleep mode, and around 80% responded that they are aware and they use it efficiently. This is not about only stats, but also we got some creative ideas from the DSP community itself, which also shows their green thinking and participation towards sustainability of the ecosystem. Some popular suggestions were recycling paper through paper recycling and reducing initiatives. Some also indicated the reduction of wastage of electricity through using natural lights and putting it regular temperature on ACs. Also, some pointed out less printing and using more digital methods and learning methods, more digital learning platforms to reduce the paperwork. Also, some indicated the need of recycling initiatives like composting grounds. And some teachers also pointed out the need for tree plantation and gardening initiatives. We also got some standout suggestions, like a few participants also indicated that while washing the dishes in pantry and kitchen area, a lot of water is being wasted, and a popular suggestion was to install dishwasher, which will not only save water but also save manual effort. And also on the paper saving front, many teachers recommended using uses of e-learning platforms to reduce the printing work and using more digital methods to reduce paper uses. Some participants also indicated regarding the plastic uses and recommended a plastic-free DSP, like 1 day, like using paper cloths, paper bags instead of wrappers and plastic bags. Also, some participants indicated, suggested the initiative of recommending paper-free DSP by using declaring 1 day paper-free in the school quarterly or monthly, where everything will be done digitally from notices to homeworks. Also, there are many raised concerns regarding waste segregation. Like there are many bins provided in the school, but the waste is not separated properly, and many suggested uses of putting more signages near bins to indicate the waste segregation. Sustainability doesn't come only from the school policies and infrastructures, but also from one's daily life. And many participants showed their determination by stating that they take small steps or initiatives to increase the sustainability of ecological system. Some recommended carrying own water bottle and lunch boxes. Some also take initiative to use less paper or use both sides of the paper to reduce paper wastage, and some also use black and white printing and digital methods to reduce paper wastage. Some also recommended separation of dry and wet waste to efficiently increase the recycling process of wastages, and also using more natural lights and regulating the AC temperatures to use energy efficiently. Now I will pass on to Hansu ma'am to take you through further process.
Okay, so I'm back here. So, in your opinion, after all that you've been through, which is the most important part out of 3 hours? Really, I think we've all come to that conclusion over many years of experience, and that's what we should all be aiming to do. And we've actually got a lot of good suggestions from within your team itself, and we've also got some suggestions or recommendations that we can help you with. And so all work towards reducing our resource utilization. Yeah. So what are we going to be suggesting as we go forward? One is that you from your end identify one person to be the person who will be liaising with us, our point of contact, along with the team that he or she creates to take this initiative forward. Because we do need a small team working to make sure that all this is being put in place. We've given our recommendations. A lot of them I think are already considering. Because when I had when we had to work with the facilities management, they did indicate that retrofitting the narrators, you are looking at motion sensor lighting. So those are things already that I think you are considering, but to make sure that their time put across in a timely manner and implemented in a timely manner, you need to have somebody in touch with us, because we can just be pushing all towards that. That's what we will be doing. We will also be having monthly email reviews of what your progress is, and that will again be some level of accountability, so to say. We can initiate monthly e-waste, which can be not only from the school, but we can do it as a student initiative also. A lot of schools do that. We help set that up. So maybe a Monday or first Monday of every month or something, we can identify a day, and we can have a circulated notice saying that children can bring their batteries, wires, plugs, all that thing, and we can initiate that, and do have a recycler already, but we can connect it to other recyclers if you like. We also have a very unusual project called the Mail Back Project, which is something that a lot of organizations and schools are participating in, because it's a product that comes into every home. The Mail Back comes into every home, and it's easy to participate. So right from every level of staff. So the feature of this project is that you just have to teach the kids how this mail bag is to be cut, cleaned, and then collected. So we encourage people, because it's a very high grade of recyclable plastic, and because it's not being cleaned, it goes into every waterway. Any beach cleaning you go for, cleaning activities you go for, you always find a lot of mail bags, because they're not cleaned and managed properly. So this is another initiative that we can start, and we can do this monthly. And if we have a substantial amount of mail bags and plastic that we collect and give to the vendor, he will even give us a plastic bench, a bench made out of recycled plastic, which could be something that the kids could actually see what's happening to the waste that is being, recycled. So that is one, initiative that we can put into practice. Then we notice that there are a lot of Tetra Packs being used in the canteen. So again, the Tetra Packs can be recycled if they're clean. And so this is how you actually, after you cut it, you rinse it, and then you just flatten it and keep it. So it doesn't take up a lot of place. And I think you are using 10 to 12 liters of milk every day. So that will be a substantial amount of bags. If you want, we can procure a bin from a vendor who will keep a bin, and then maybe you can use that, or you can just set up a normal carton and just put it in that, and then you can arrange for it to be picked up. So these are small steps that we can do, and we can actually kind of quantify this. So you will be able to have some numbers as to what impact you have. Apart from this is something that's interesting, because just our PET bottles that we use, our water bottles and our soft drink bottles, if cleaned and recycled, cleaned and sent for recycling, this can actually be made out of the PET bottles. So this 12 bottles make a t-shirt. In fact, all the Olympic uniforms were made using PET, recycled PET. So this is something that, this kind of information we could kind of schedule maybe monthly awareness or quarterly awareness for the children, which we would come and explain to them what the benefits of recycling are, and that's when you can actually get them to start recycling and doing the recycling. And we will. So this is just in a very brief what I'm going to do now. But we've given you a much more detailed report, which we emailed to you. And once you get that report, you can go through it and then come back to us with any questions you may have. And also we will guide you through everything regarding the signages and everything. We're happy to provide you with visuals, how you can design. Or a very good project could be to get your students, senior students, to design the signages. That could be something that could be. These are just steps to get them thinking and how they could be part of the whole process. we always encourage people to do it, the students to do it, or the employees to do it, put them into groups and teams and make them do it. And if you need any guidance from us, we're happy to provide it for you, to you. But getting the team to do it is a great way because they will be thinking in those directions. And of course, we recommend an audit after 12 months to see how much we've improved and how much of a difference we've made. So we are really grateful to you for this opportunity, and we are really excited to work with you and take this forward. And if anybody has any questions specific to what we shared, one or two things that we wanted to share with you was the use of water. It's really important that the awareness is created amongst the support staff, because I think a lot of them leave the water on while soaping the dishes and all that. So those are things that, we were watching that, and there was a lot of wastage of water. So, and it's small steps. I think they're not even aware of it. They're not mindful of it because it's not been pointed out. But I think when it's pointed out, the difference is quite significant. So, does anybody have any questions that they would like to kind of?
Firstly, thank you very much for a very informative and enlightening presentation. There are a lot of things that we know subconsciously we are supposed to do, but we really don't end up doing it. So you actually put some context to it, which will help us take it forward, and the operation admin team as well, and I'm sure the cabinet team also has a lot of takeaways to pass on to the children. So definitely it's a building block for us, which will help us, from moving from a score of 5.6 to, I'm sure, 7 next time. That's our target. We should be 7 on 7. And just to write down a few things, like you mentioned, this water wastage and all, you'll be happy to know that all the pantries will be having a dishwasher by the summer vacation. We already have it in our plan, so it's going to happen during the break. So there are presently one pantry there, we are having 2 more coming up on the 8th floor. Altogether, all 3 pantries will have a total of 6 dishwashers. So that should take care of. The aerators, we are already on track. We are trying different models because the taps are.
So I have in my report, I have also provided some resources. So I have provided the name of a person who will be who provides these aerators, and you can be in touch with him. Regarding the dishwashers also, I think you had said Euronics is what you were exploring.
Hand dryers, yes.
You had said Euronics. I spoke with him. He said after sales service of Euronics is not very good. He suggested another one, and again mentioned that in that. So I'm just giving you resources that might.
You will connect with them,
yes,
and take it forward. I mean, whatever goes
and
on.
also regarding the waste management, if you are interested in composting on site, we can help you set that up. If not, we also can connect you to somebody who has a waste pickup service. So we put that in the resource sheet as well. So any kind of follow through that you want from us, or follow up you want from us, or guidance in terms of connecting you to people, we are happy to connect you, because that's the only way that these things can come to some sort of fruition. So that's the other thing. And if there's anybody else has any questions or any observations on our report, we try to be, it's not very detailed here, but the detailed report is given to me more.
So we go through that, and in
Yes.
case there is something that
Yes.
we are not clear about,
Yes.
but rest assured, we shall take it
No,
forward.
the fact that we are here is a step in the, you're obviously taking a step in the direction of wanting to be more, sustainable and conscious of where you are right now and want to make changes, which is why we're here. But if there's anything else that anybody else would like to ask us, please feel free. Happy to.
I like the idea of the t-shirts. I've done this before in UAE. We had a whole collection of our water bottles, plastic water bottles, and then we could switch them off for the t-shirts, and then do something like that.
So we have to check with our vendor, because those the quantities that they require are huge. But we can definitely explore that and maybe connect you to them, so that I think coming from you all, it might be more effective saying that we're doing this from a school, and
Because we do this across our streets of water bottles, but then you do bring in
So that's a huge plus point. Even the water, we didn't see water bottles lying around. Everybody was carrying their own bottles. So that was good. But I think we request the teachers to think of innovative ways of making the kids want to come with their hankies or napkins, because it's not very cool now, but if you make it a little cool, it might, one of the teachers did say that. She said, I'm really keen to do that. So hopefully that can be put in place, because that's again huge. And also these the tissues and the enfold things that are lying in the bathroom, there seems like there's in abundance.
That's already on my checklist. I just wanted confirmation as we discussed the first time that I haven't been able to get a resource by telling me whether the hand
dryers are definitely
resource
hand dryers are definitely more eco-friendly, but even just leaving the tissues and all over there in such an abundant quantity makes people a little wasteful. You tend to, if you feel it's in short supply, you are a little bit more conscious of how it's being used. But here it was like, I have enough, feel free to use how much you want. So so that was one other observation. But I think there's like I said, the fact that we're here is a good step, and we're really looking to get better. So thank you for this.
For the tissues, you get these non-woven soakable tissues as well. So you pull them out and only one suffices to dry your hands. You don't need to pull out 2 or 3. Sometimes your hands are very wet and the tissue is not of good quality. You do need to pull out a few more. But if you get those, then just one tear is enough.
But if they're considering the hand dryers, I think that's the better option. Because even the non-woven is a bit of a question mark, because it's got some level of some mix of polyester. So in terms of material, the hand dryers are a better option. Anything else?
I think mainly one of the things that maybe we need help with is, if we do start collecting resources waste, is to find people who be willing to take these smaller quantities, like one of the plastic.
That we help you with that.
Connecting to the right people.
Yes, we help you with the connection, storage, and the disposal.
So one of the area we're interested in is this sort of like plant trees, like I said, different quantity, carbon offsetting.
Right.
And so this is something which I find quite a lot of people do if I go to all places.
Quite clear reason.
Which don't want to raise my teacher voice, do you? I find that sometimes you go somewhere and you say, we planted a tree, thank you very much. So you've got any organisations like that you could connect to
Yes,
as well?
definitely. And like I said, anything concerned with the environment or anything, I will directly or indirectly be able to get you resources and connect you to people who will be able to action most of what you do. So that won't be a problem. So these are things that one can do on, like maybe a green newsletter which goes out to all the students, get the students to edit it. Things like that you can initiate within the school itself as a movement. It just becomes part of the school.
So these are a lot of things which are in the pipeline, which I have already listed out.
Yes.
But we wanted this as a
Direction.
benchmark to set the pace and where we are and where we need to go.
Right.
So this is a very useful resource that you given us on what all we need to do, and that's what we were looking at. So that's very much.
Thank you, and thank you for the opportunity, and I'm great to see all of you here, and we'll be in touch, and we'll hopefully work through the year with different things. And
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you.
This is a thought that we grim thought, but yeah, I think it's really good.
Yes.
Thank you.